Students, today I'll teach you one new lesson. What is the lesson? My childhood. This is a beautiful reminiscence of the life of our ex-president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He has written about his own life, how he has grown up, and what are the things he has to work on in his life. This is very inspirational lesson, and you will learn a lot of the other unknown sides of his life. So I'll tell you main points of it. Okay. So see what he narrates about his own life, how he has been grown up, and what are the incidents took place. It is a very long story, but by big biography is there. This is a small part of the autobiography written by him, particularly about his childhood days. Okay. In childhood days, how he has spent it. So what he says in the beginning, I was born in a middle class Tamil family in the island town of Rameswaram. Have you seen Rameswaram, anyone? I don't know. It is just near to Chennai. From Chennai you can go to Madurai, and from Madurai there is a one train is there. It goes to Rameswaram. There is a beautiful bridge is there. Its name is Kambam Bridge. Beautiful sight. If you happen to go that side, you can see. Beautiful sight will be visible from the train, as well as road communication is also there from Madurai to Rameswaram. Rameswaram is a very famous pilgrimage place also for the Hindus. So he was actually born and brought up in that place, Rameswaram. So earlier it was Madras state, now it is called Chennai. My father, Jainul Abedin, had neither much formal education nor much wealth. He was actually a fisherman. His father was a very, you can say, financially weak person actually. He was a fisherman. Their very hard life they had in their childhood days. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom and true generosity of spirit. He had an ideal helpmate in my mother. Mother is also very helpful lady. That's why the son has been grown up like that, APJ Abdul Kalam. What was the name of mother? Asimamma. Asimamma is the name of mother. Actually, he is a Tamil man. I do not recall the exact name, number of the people she fed every day, but I am quite certain that far more outsider ate with us than all members of our own family. Whatever the number of family she used to feed, more than that, from other members of the other families, they used to come and eat, even though they are not very rich. In spite of that, mother used to feed so many people. Those are not from his own family members. That was the generosity. That was the kind of lady she was. And the father was also such kind of kind-hearted person. I was one of the many children. A short boy by rather undistinguished look. He was not, you have seen the photos of APJ Abdul Kalam. He was not very handsome and he was not very stout man. So normal child he was, exactly as it happens with many. Born to tall and handsome parents, he recalls his parents are handsome. This is the respect he gives. His parents are very handsome. Handsome always does not look that you have to be fair color or some like the different kinds of looks of the North Indian. Handsome or beauty, it is from the inner side of the heart. It is from the wisdom or the knowledge that makes you handsome. It was a fairly large Pakka house. He was living in a Pakka house made of limestone and brick on the Mosque Street in the Rameswaram. So while he was living, the area was in the Rameswaram. Name of the place is Mosque Street. My austere father, austere means was very, very simple living. It is called austerity or austere. Used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. He did not believe in the lot of unnecessary luxuries and comforts. But whatever the needs of the life is required, medicine, food, shelter, these all things are very essential, and his father is to provide all these things. Understood? This was the childhood life he was living. The Second World War broke out in 1931. There was two World Wars so far, you know it. First World War and Second World War. Second World War took place somewhere in 1939. That time, how much old he was? He was only 8 years old. I was only 8 years old. For reasons I have never been able to understand, the sudden demand of tamarind. Tamarind is imli. Okay, tamarind. because South Indian people eat a lot of sour things in a lot of foods. That's why we use a lot of tamarind. So all of a sudden, the demand of tamarind increased. I used to collect the seeds and sell them to the provision shop on musk tree. A day's collection would fetch me the princely sum of 1 anna, only 1 anna. This is not valid. Very small fragment of the money is 1 anna. And my brother-in-law, Jalaluddin, would tell me stories about the war, which I would later attempt to trace the headlines of the, what is the headlines of the news? Dinamani. Dinamani is a paper, newspaper of, local newspaper of that area. So he used to read that. And soon India forced to join. India was not willing to join in the Second World War. A lot of turmoils and a lot of political scenarios took place, and Indians are forced to participate in the Second World War. So these details will read in the history chapter when we will go through. So this all happened. There are two forces, the Allied forces, okay, or Allied forces are actually Britain was there, and Hitler was another force. So soon India was forced to join the Allied forces, and something like a state of emergency was declared. The first casualty came in the form of the suspension of the train halt at Rameswaram station. So no more train was coming in the Rameswaram. Okay. The newspapers now had to be bundled and thrown out of the moving train on the Rameswaram, because train is not stopping. So those people doing the business of the newspaper, they used to wrap it and throw from the window of the running train. This way business was going on. Okay, so that was the lie. I feel slot. Then Samsuddin helped me earn first wages. He was earning some money. Half a century later, half a century means 50 years, I can still feel the surge of pride of earning my own money for the first time. Every child is born with some inherited character, so he was growing up and moving to, after when he's growing up, and he's gone to bigger school in the town. Okay, so this is very simple story, you will understand. So this is the, see, this is the religious sentiment of APJ Abdul Kalam. APJ Abdul Kalam is this person in the photograph. You see, he's having the skulled naked cap on his head. And can you see the Brahmins with the threads? They are moving with the idols on their head. And he was also participating in that. So in the marriage ceremony, when people used to take the idol from the temple, Rameswaram temple, so they used to go on the procession, and there was the main theme he wanted to convey in the story, that earlier this kind of religious sentiment and fundamentalism was not there. Hindus and Muslims, they are living very closely and very unitedly and very friendly manner. In the festivals of the Hindus also, this is mainly the festival of the Hindu. So being a Muslim, he is also participating. There was no feelings. And one of his closest friends, his father was the head priest of Rameswaram. So he used to help him out. And he used to always sit with that person, and he used to live there. And even he has taken a lot of times, he has taken food with his friends who are Hindus. Hindus also used to come to his house. So they were living in a very friendly manner, and very in a good atmosphere of mixing up Hindus and Muslims, all the communities. They are having the harmony, complete harmonically they are living in that places. Okay. See, this is another picture. This is a boat. They used to go for the celebration. Hindus and the celebrations, they used to participate in the boat, and he used to take the participation in the boat also. He used to go there. See this person, APJ Abdul Kalam. So after school, he used to come back and told the respective parents about the incident. What is the incident took place? One of his friend, I told you, was Hindu. This is the person, this person. Okay. This person was his friend, very close friend. So he was sitting with him and he was learning in the school. But one of the Hindu teacher came. He said, you have to go and sit down at the back. So, but they are very close friends to each other. They do not like to get separated. But what to do? Teacher has instructed, so he had to go and sit down in the last bench. He was sitting in the last bench, and his friend also felt very sad about it, and he was also crying. But he cannot protest like this, whatever the instruction was given. So this incident he went and told to his friend, and friend told to his father. What was the name of father? Sivaдаsan. So he told the Lakshman Sivaдаsan, who was the head priest of the Rameswaram temple. The next day, the head priest came and told the teacher he has done a very wrong thing and he cannot do like that. So even he warned also, the head priest of Rameswaram, he warned also, you have to leave the job and you have to, otherwise you have to get transferred, because you cannot distinguish someone, particularly you cannot hurt the students of school on the basis of the sentiments of religion. Somebody is Hindu, somebody is Muslim, you cannot separate them. So this sort of incident, this communal harmony, you are spreading in the school. So what the writer wanted to say here particularly about that, that they are living in a completely harmonically, they are living, Hindus and Muslim, and there was no distinguish, there was no separation, there was no division at all among the Hindus and Muslims. Very cordial atmosphere was prevalent in that time. Okay. So, what is the name of his friend? I told you, Ramananda Shastri. That was the boy who was sitting next to him. His name was Ramananda Shastri. Okay. So Ramananda Shastri was sitting beside him and he was very close friend of him. But the teacher told him to go and sit down at the backside. Okay. He felt it very bad. So after the school, he went home and told our respective parents about the incident. So what was the name of his father, Ramananda Shastri? His father was Lakshmana Shastri. He was the head priest of Rameswaram temple. He only called the teacher to not to have this kind of communal intolerance and about the communal disharmony. This sort of things you cannot spread in the school. Okay. Now I'll teach you the next phase what happened. This one I told you. Even Lakshmanan Shastri was such a good person, what he said, one day he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of Muslim boy being invited to dine with her ritually pure kitchen. Pure kitchen means he was actually wife of Hindu priest, so naturally he was maintaining a lot of restrictions in his life. So that's why he was denying not to give access to a Muslim boy to come and eat with him, eat with her child. Okay, so he was having some restriction. She refused to serve me in her kitchen because he does not like that a Muslim boy to enter into the kitchen of a Hindu family. Shiva Subramania actually was not perturbed. He was not happy with that. Nor did he angry with his wife, because wife is little orthodox Hindu lady, but instead served me with he himself served with his own hand and sat down beside me to eat his meal. So the husband was not like that. He was serving him and he was eating with him, even though wife was having little restriction on giving entry to a Muslim boy to the kitchen. His wife watched us from the behind the kitchen door. I wondered whether she had observed my difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, and cleaned the floor after meal. After eating, he has cleaned the floor. So he was observing everything. When I was leaving his house, Shiva Subramaniam Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. He was loving so much. Observing my hesitation, the man understood that his boy is hesitating because his wife is not giving entry, his wife is not very happy. Okay. So that's why he was hesitating. Who was hesitating? His wife, APJ Abdul Kalam. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset because she is Orthodox Hindu lady of old thinking. So don't get upset with her behavior, such problems have to be confronted, you have to overcome, because there will be some people in the society who will not be accepting of mingling different kinds of races, different kinds of people of different caste to mingle up and live together. But you have to confront, you have to meet the challenge, and slowly people will understand that there is no difference between different kinds of people, or there is no such kind of casteism or religion differences among the human beings. We all are actually from the same race. What is the race? Human race. So it will take time for the people to understand. When I visited house the next week, Sivasundaram Iyer's wife took me inside the kitchen. See the change now. The lady now given entry to this work, the kitchen, and served me food with her own hand. So, first time she was washing from the backside of the kitchen. She was washing how the boy was eating, how he was drinking water, how he was cleaning after eating the meal. After watching, maybe her heart must have been melted. That too, she must have seen how husband was sympathetic, how husband was loving nature to the children, whether he is Muslim or Hindu. She also has been transformed to a different lady and decided to serve the food by himself. So this way you can bring changes in the mind of any people. Then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Imminent means likely to come very soon. That is called imminent. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. So India is almost going to get freedom, on the verge of it. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. Unprecedented means which has not yet taken place, which has not yet happened. Optimism means having hope, lot of hope on the future. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameswaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramananthapuram. So district headquarters he has to go because he has to go to the higher classes in better school. So his father also has given permission. He told me, as if thinking about, Abdul, I know you have to go away to grow. I cannot tell you to sit down in your home and grow up. You cannot grow up in your home. You have to complete your schooling, you have to complete your college, you have to go to your workplace. You have to go to the outer world. One day you have to leave your house and go for the outer world. You have to serve the society. You have to live in your own way. So that is the reality of anybody's life. You are also reading in the school. After a certain time, you will be leaving the school. You will be going to different higher classes, colleges, universities. Then your work life may be in the business place or in the service place, whatever it is. You cannot stay in your own home. That is the reality of the life. And his father understood that. That's why he said, I cannot contain you. I cannot restrict you in your own house for a long time. Does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? Seagull always floats in the water. It does not have its nest. So you also have to live alone. You have to be independent. You have to be independent. You have to be able to live your own life. So like the seagull, as it survives on the water surface, it does not have its own nest. It goes here and there. It catches fish and live on the surface of the water. Life is the life of human being. You also have to go out of your venture, out of your home and live there. And you have to struggle throughout your life and prove yourself as a humankind. He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Your children are not your children. Mother was not willing to leave the child out of home. Naturally, any mother will not like. So that's why he said, your children are not your children. Very, very important line. Your children is not, you are not the mother of a child alone. Your child is the son of Mother India also. All motherkind, all human being mothers, even the country itself is a mother. You cannot wrap your child in your own home and get segregated from the rest of the human races. They have to go beyond. They have to prove. That's why such kind of father and mother was having Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. That's why he could become such a great scientist. He was a nuclear scientist. He was a physicist. And later on he became President of India. You all know it. He was a very scholar and renowned person. So he has grown up from a very poor family, very lower middle class family, who was actually fisherman. If you happen to go to Rameswaram, I have visited. You also, if you happen to get a chance to visit, it still the house is there in the Dhanushkoti. You can find all surroundings. You will find only fishermen and fishermen. Lot of boats are there. Smell of fishes you will find. Most of the people are very poor people. So he was such kind of person who has grown up from that area. That means this inspiration of his life tells what? You can do anything. Whatever your background may be, if you wish, if you have the willpower, and if you want to do something in your life, you can, irrespective of your background, irrespective of your parents' education or facility. It is the challenge you have to take in your own life. He has taken the challenge and he becomes such a renowned person. India can never forget such kind of son in history, isn't it? His name will be written in the golden pages of the history. He will be ever remembered as a golden son of Mother India, APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, so this is very important line. Your children are not your children; they are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. Okay, they have come through you. You are only the you have only given birth. Your mother, no, definitely your mother, but your son has responsibility not only to you, your son has responsibility to the society, even to the bigger sense if you take, your son has a bigger responsibility to shoulder for the country also. And he has taken a lot of challenges, lot of efforts, and he has proved in different fields. He was a scientist of DID also. He was named as a missile man, if you know it, because he has indigenously he has designed and he has made a lot of huge contribution in the field of missiles also. Agni is a famous missile. It is surface to surface missile. The details you will learn later on. If you launch the missile from one place 1,500 kilometer, it can go and burst. Even 3,000 kilometer also it has developed. So these all came from his brain only. So such a renowned person he was. If you have time, you can read one more book is there, The Wings of Fire, written by APJ Abdul Kalam. Beautiful book, Wings of Fire. You will find a lot of information. Anyhow, when you will grow up further, you will read better. So, they came through you and not from you. You are only mother to give birth. It is not only, your son is not the son of yours. Your son is the son of all mothers. Your son is the son of the Mother India. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts. Don't restrict your child about your thoughts only. The child may grow up with defined thoughts. Whatever you have done, it is not necessary. Your child also have to do the same thing. He can go beyond that. He can prove much more than that. And he can venture far, far whatever you have achieved. And parents generally will be always happy if they find their children is growing and developing and becoming a renowned man or woman much more than their parents. Parents will be always happy to find the children is becoming one of the renowned person. So for they have their own thoughts. So APJ Abdul Kalam also he had his own thoughts and he has developed himself. He has proved himself as a true son of the nation. So I hope you have understood this. If you have any, it is a very simple biographical writing written by the same great person, APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, I told you the name of the book, The Wings of Fire. Just now I told you this is the part of the Wings of Fire, the book. It is a quite big volume book. If you happen to read this book, you will understand a lot of information about it. So I'll suggest whenever you get time, you must go through the book. It may be available in your library. You can go and read it. So this man has given a lot of informational and inspirational message to the people of India, how a normal child, how a person from a poor family also can grow up and prove himself to the highest point of career. Okay, this is a beautiful story. You must go through, and I hope you will understand. If you find any difficulties in any part, any word, any paragraph, without any hesitation, you can ask me. Okay.